How long have you been in the Navy?
Oh, me bloated life.
I'm Jamie Britt,
And I'm Heath Britt.
and together we are E14. We have 40 years of naval service.
And each week we discuss a potpourri of topics, which we like to call smoke pit topics.
These are real world topics that concern us, our marriage, and our Navy with a sailor twist.
So join us each week as we dive into the deep end.
Booyah! Hey everybody, welcome back to E14 Podcast. I'm Jamie Britt.
And I'm Heath Britt.
And together we are E14. So this is our goal, goal recap. I'm talking like a recruiter. This is our recap episode of our entire Hold Fast series. It's scaled down. We're dressed comfortable.
We're
the
podcasty-y.
time. Yeah, we just. A lot of times we put a lot of effort into dressing up and
presentation,
and we just really wanted to just scale it down for the recap and relax.
Definitely.
Because we really did work hard this whole month.
Yes.
On
especially
this series.
You've been killing it.
So I'm going to go ahead and put out the disclaimer that the views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of our own and not the United States Navy or our respective commands.
So take it or leave it.
All right. Cheers to ending our first series.
Cheers.
We got these new mics. So let's talk a little bit about starting this podcast. All right. We started on January the 3rd.
Right? That was
our very first one. And it was literally, we were sitting on the couch on a Saturday. And I just looked at Heath and I was like, hey, you want to make a podcast?
And I was like, yeah, sure. Why not?
And so we just hopped on and started it. And we have been feeling our way out. So now we have, and January the 3rd, we recorded a couple of episodes and then truly hard launched on January the 17th. So we've 17th. Just now hit our over the month podcast anniversary. And we have learned a lot.
Yes.
We have since then ditched our old mics.
Got some new stuff.
Now we are on these mics.
Yeah.
We've got headphones now.
We're legit.
Yeah, and just learning the whole podcast world has been an adventure.
Yeah.
There was a lot of problems with our audio at the beginning. And we realize that is a huge part of podcast.
That is like 99%.
Well, it's the
thing.
Part of podcast.
Right.
Promoting ourselves, we've learned a lot. What else have we learned? Video editing.
Video editing,
hard.
Yes, it's tough.
And who has that much time to do all of that?
I don't know how you find. You don't have time.
No,
we've
got only 3 videos on YouTube, and they suck. And
yeah. It's just you run out of time. There's so many hours in a day.
There's like, if we're talking hours. And so then, Matt Perry, one of our guests, he encouraged me. He was like, you can do this. Download Adobe Pro. You can do this. And I got so frustrated that I never finished the video.
When we get big, we'll just hire somebody to do that.
Yeah, we need to make some money.
We'll make money, just hire people. We'll have people for that.
So yeah, we then we got the idea. I think we recorded maybe 2 episodes, and then we got the idea to do series, and the series kind of helped us because we were able to. We didn't have to rethink the wheel every weekend.
It helped us stay on course for our ideas because we could focus our ideas on one topic, just 3 segments of one topic.
Right. And I think that works for us because we have such a busy lifestyle, being that we're both still active duty and parents.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a junior in high school, so that's a lot of time for after school activities. And the series idea, we're going to continue going through that. We are going to shift a little bit on the way that we I guess on our focus for the podcast. So we've now want to be the platform that gives the sailor or just amplifies the sailor's voice or
Yeah,
the
definitely.
military member.
Yes, the member's voice. Like, what is he thinking
Right.
about whatever?
Hmm.
What's his opinion on whatever?
Right.
A, B, C, or D.
When we started with Smoke Pit Topics, it was really legit because we both used to smoke. A lot of people go on smoke breaks
Mm-hmm.
while they're working just to go take a break. And that's where all of the real discussions
Oh, you know how
happen.
much gossip I used to hear on the smoke
Yeah,
deck? And a lot of the
so
times it was true.
full scuttlebutt, or just like, hey, I got this problem at home, and
Yep.
everybody's giving all this
Yep.
advice. And that's why we wanted to bring those smoke pit topics, which are completely random
Mhm.
topics, and then discuss them in detail. And now what we want to do is amplify that onto all of our platforms so that our military members, our sailors, have a voice.
Voice. That's
And
important.
anyway, that's our shift,
Right.
I think.
And I tell you what, me personally, I know Jamie's done this on a few different platforms. You know,
Hmm.
she's more seasoned than I am, way more seasoned than I am. But this started out to me as something to hang out with my wife, right?
Right.
Because we couldn't go out to eat, we can't go out drink a beer at a bar, so we're kind of stuck in the house. So this was something different. And I tell you what, though, I really love this. So it metamorphosed from something to hang out with my wife, which I still love, but I love talking to you guys too. So this has
Yeah.
really been
And you
awesome.
know what is so cool is that my dad pointed this out because he said it is so rare to see a husband and wife that sit down
Yeah.
and have a conversation without cell phones, without TV,
Yeah.
and just talk to each other.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that podcasting did for us, was that it brought us to the conversation.
Exactly.
To where we can just have a conversation and just talk.
Yeah. No,
And
it's great.
I love that. And like we mentioned before, if you've been following us, we couldn't go out to eat.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't go out to date nights.
Yeah.
And so this became our together
Date
time.
night.
Yeah.
It's our date night. We're having our date night right now with
Yeah.
with some of our closest friends.
Yeah. And all of you here.
Yeah.
So this is the recap show, and we want to go back through all of our guests in the series and just kind of talk about lessons learned,
Yeah.
how it made us feel. And we actually have real footage, or real
Audio and
footage,
audio.
of how it has impacted the world around us. So the first episode that we had was with Eric Schumann.
Eric Schumann. Yeah.
Hold Fast Through Adversity. And he just brought the most unique view to the table. Now, I thought he's a SWIC. So I thought he was going to talk about like going to war and combat and adversity. And that is not what he talked about.
No, he was all about, his adversity, but adversity. He had his personal adversity and professional adversity.
Professionally, like as far as like admin and
Right.
and things that I was like, where is that coming from?
It was awesome. It was candid.
Yeah, and we're gonna show a quick clip on part of the interview, but do go back and listen to Hold Fast Through Adversity. But we're gonna go ahead and show a quick clip, and then we'll get back to the conversation.
Anytime you see these dudes that are in a different uniform than what we regularly wear, they're probably SEALs.
Right.
So at that point, I was like, man, these guys have sideburns, which is cool. They got long hair, that's cool. And they're not wearing regular uniforms. It's even cooler. So I asked every one of the guys on the flight, like, hey, man, are you a SEAL? Like, no, I'm a EOD. What about you? I'm a SWIC. What about you? Oh, I'm a SEAL. Okay. Well, I knew what EOD was. I knew what SEAL was. I'm like, what's SWIC? And they were all kind of laughing, giggling. I really didn't understand the point. But then the guy was like, no, we do all the boats for naval special warfare and SOCOM. And I said, okay, well, that's cool. So at that point, I just kind of like, looked at it through the recruiting pages, which is, remember, it was 98, 99, 2000, which is real early because we're old.
Yes, we are.
We're old. You're not old.
Yeah, you're young.
Thank you for clearing that up.
When I looked through the stuff they had for the recruiting page, it looked cool. I mean, there was no difference I could see from a sill to a swig except for his own boats. The command crew counselor I had no idea. And he's like, "Yeah, man, you're just a sill on boats." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I put a package in. I actually won Pacific Fleet Junior Sailor of the Year, I think, that year.
Wow, big time.
And yeah, I'm a nerd.
We didn't know we were in such presence.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm not worthy. Shoot.
I used to get haircuts, and shave and get in the right uniform. Anyways, I put the package in and I got accepted. So I did my interview and everything over at Special Boat Team 12, which is in Coronado. And I had to wait, I guess, about 90 days, and it came back approved, and they started going through my process. So I only spent about 2.5, 3 years in the fleet.
So that was him talking about how he got into the SWIC community,
Yeah.
because back then it was not a rate.
No,
They-
he had to screen for it.
They had a screen for it. They had to pull from
fleet.
Yeah, from the fleet.
Yeah.
And so that was a really cool part of it. And then, you know what really struck me, and I even mentioned it while he was here, is that he started talking about some situations in where he needed to ask for help. And he said he's just a big advocate for
Yeah,
counseling,
yep.
you know? And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I did not see that coming, but so many of us are dealing.
Well, if you haven't had a chance to watch it, and if you get a chance to watch it, he talks about his demons.
Mhm.
He had a lot of them.
Yeah.
Stuff that he dealt with personally that he overcame through counseling, through mentorship, and just through his own intestinal fortitude to get past it.
Yeah. And, for what we're going through today in today's society, the stigma of mental health, the stigma of all of
Mhm.
this in our culture, in our military culture, is still so heavy.
It
and
is.
we need to have more people speak out and say,
Definitely.
go get help. Counseling's not a bad thing.
The Navy spends a lot of money on it to get counselors for its members.
Mhm.
So, I mean, if you need it, use it. It's free. I mean, and that the Navy understands, the military understands it. That's why they have these resources for you out there, us out there, anybody out there that
Right.
need it. That's the reason it's there to use. So if you definitely need it, definitely use it, because, keeping it bottled up is not going to help the situation at all. You need to get it out and talk to somebody that can help you.
Right. No, for sure. And I just, to hell with the stigma.
Right. To
You
hell
know,
with it.
I'm
Because
gonna make a shirt like that.
to hell with the stigma. That's right.
Because it is absolutely false, and so many good men and women are allowing their demons to
Surface.
to fester because of this stupid stigma. So that was really powerful to see such a big strong guy.
Right.
He's
He's
big
pretty
guy,
good shape.
say that, so that was really impactful to me.
Yeah, definitely.
Specifically. And then, of course, to the world around us. So then we rolled into part 2.
Right.
And part 2 was Hold Fast Through Love.
Yeah.
And when we were like, oh, it's February. Let's do
Valentine's Day.
Love.
Cupid
I
and
was
all
like,
that stuff.
I'll wear a heart sweater.
I wore a pink shirt.
I have a nice little flower arrangement. It'll be Valentine's love. And again, we were hit with a completely different point of view on Hold Fast Through Love.
Yep.
We had Master Chief Carpio on, and he is truly a leader that leads through love.
Yep.
And a lot of people stray away from love. They're like, oh, love. Yeah. A lot of people do, but that wasn't what he came.
No, it was totally different.
With, he's a recruiter. He's been in recruiting, he said, for 20 years, right? Or
20
he's been
plus, maybe 24. Recruiting right around this 22,
right.
Probably.
So if you don't know recruiting, it is, you ever see the president when they arrive in the presidency, and then by the end of their term, they've aged a million years.
Grayed out.
That's recruiting. Like, I mean, he served like 5 presidencies. How the heck is he still standing?
Right.
Because it just ages.
And he's still
It's
positive.
so stressful.
And he's positive all the time.
But
The dude's positive all the time.
that is true. But he actually was so candid
Yeah.
and so transparent with us because with the long hours that we put in,
hmm
with the hardworking hours, our families suffer.
And
Our
he was not
relationships
immune to that.
suffer.
He was not immune to that. He told us, it suffered. His family suffered, and even somebody at his level,
Right.
he's way up there to have the same demons as a E5 doing it. Same issues. That's
But
saying a lot.
so the demons don't care of the
No,
rank.
they don't care.
They affect us all.
Yep.
And if you are not watering and cultivating your relationship, even that can fail at any level.
It's true.
And a lot of people just think that, oh, because they're a high rank, they may not deal with that, but every marriage does, every relationship does. And he was so candid with us and so open, and he talked about the balance of how to balance this stressful job and continue to work on their relationship. So we're gonna go to a quick clip, just so you can hear a little bit of that.
You deserve to be happy. Remember that. And once you truly understand that, and you know that you are here for a reason, then you start loving yourself. Then you start investing in yourself, and it doesn't become a chore because now you're doing it for you. I love both of you, and don't take this the wrong way, but like I tell my wife, baby, I don't do it for you. I do it for me.
Wow.
You know, and put yourselves first. And when you do, your partner matters, and you'll matter more to them because you just become a better person for them.
Right. And that's right, Master Steve. You're 100% correct. That comes with your spouse or your significant other. It also comes with your sailors too. You can't take care of them until you take care of yourself. That is 100% correct what you said. It ain't just guys that feel it, girls that feel that way.
We learned the hard way that you got to take care of yourself.
I thought it was.
For those that are just listening in, Heath has had a stroke, and he's learning to take a step back from work and take care of himself right now. And the work will be there, but this is really good insight for him as well, to look back and say, okay, I matter. I got to take care of myself.
Yeah, no, you said it right, Heath. We get so focused on the job, and then we care about our sailors, because I've always cared about them, but I wasn't no good to them because I wasn't right mentally or physically. That where I want to help you, man, but I'm tired right now. I want to.
I've been that way.
Yeah, we just take a toll, and my outlet was drinking, eating. Where I ballooned to 200 pounds. And those of you know me, I'm a short man. So imagine my shortness at 200 pounds walking around like a little ball,
So, just to be so open with his, drinking and eating and getting out of standards and not caring about him, not caring for himself,
right.
And you have to love yourself in order to be a better leader.
And I don't know if he was talking about it. We didn't see it in that clip, but love as being a verb.
A verb. It's so a lot of time, that's why we shy away. Man, love. I don't want to talk about my feelings. It's not a feeling. And I didn't really understand this until I started listening to him on social media a lot, and he was talking about leading with love and for our shipmates, and I was like, my shipmates?
But it's the truth. It's the truth.
It is, because through this whole season or this series, you had a stroke.
Yeah, I had a stroke.
He had a stroke.
Because
it floored us.
Because it was like the day after we interviewed you.
Yeah. It floored us, and we both had extremely full plates at work. And we immediately started offloading our plates. And giving our tasks to our shipmates, and they loved us so much through actions by taking on our extra work. And on their already full plates. And, you know, um, that's amazing. And that is just one of the many reasons why I love the Navy.
Yeah, definitely.
Because the camaraderie, I don't know exactly what you're going through, but I'm going to take this off your shoulders and add it to mine
Yeah.
because I feel it and I feel that you need me right now,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and that is love.
Yeah,
That is
the action. That love is an action. Love is taking care of each other.
right.
And that's how you take care of each other in the Navy. That's how we take care of each other. We take stuff off each other's backs to give them help them with their load a little bit when they need it.
Right.
Because but that's how the Navy's been around for 245 years. Because that's what we've done for 245 years as a Navy, and that's why we're going to continue to be strong.
And it's just another way to hold fast.
Yeah.
And you know, then we moved on to our third our third episode. So between that time, we had the little bonus feature where we talked about holding fast through the storm.
Yeah.
So at one point, we thought Heath would not walk.
Yeah.
It's so funny because when you are on the other side of the storm, you look back and you say, why was I so over dramatic?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's never going to walk again. He'll never be right. But we truly did not know if you would recover 100%.
Right.
The doctor said it was likely. But at that point, we were like,
yeah, I didn't know.
you know,
because I've never been handicapped in any sort of way. And all of a sudden, my right side of my body wasn't working so well. So it's a hit to my psyche, humbled the hell out of me.
And
I wasn't sure.
You know, he just ran. I mean, not ran, but he just ran yesterday.
Yeah, nothing. I'm scared to work out until they tell me to.
Right, but you know, just kind of did a jog.
Right.
On our live video, which is another thing. This is a little sidebar, but another thing we're doing is the Sailor's Voice Live.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun because we're going out, we're finding sailors doing their daily task, and we're just interrupting them and asking them just a question about leadership.
So I had a 6'7" Swick chief chase me around his yard.
And if you haven't seen our live
you
video,
gotta watch it. It was pretty good.
Yeah, go on Facebook and watch it. If you're listening to this audio wise, go on Facebook. It's really funny. But that was your first time running.
That was the first time, yeah.
And I was a little nervous because I saw you like take off, and I was like, okay.
Didn't miss a beat though, right?
No, you did it. You did it. But you know, as we sit on the other side of the storm, on the clear side, or as it's clearing, you know, I just look back and think, why were we so dramatic? Why did we react the way we did? But a lot of people do that.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't sure.
We weren't sure. And as much as we like to think we're good with the unknown and we're okay with uncomfortable situations, we are not that comfortable.
No, I wasn't very comfortable.
No.
I was apprehensive at best.
But you are doing great. You look great. You're feeling great. And now we can start refocusing our attention on the balance of work and family. Because if anything else, that is what we learned through the storm, was to slow down and to balance and to put the emphasis on what is important, which is our family and each other. And then after that, we rolled into our third episode, which was with Matt Perry. Now, he had a extremely cool story.
Yeah,
He's a NASCAR racer. He's active duty. And he's NASCAR racing while being on a ship, attached to a ship. So if you thought you could never do anything because you're always deployed, this guy was literally like pulling in, racing, and then going back out underway.
It was crazy. So the only time you don't limit yourself, because this guy proves you can have a real hobby, like a real second life almost.
But
while deployed or while being on ship duty.
well, let's go ahead and show the clip because it's just really cool. And I mean, I don't know how he did it.
God, no.
I still don't know how he did it,
No.
but he did it. So let's watch this. And
So-
still racing, right? You were still racing.
Yeah, so I was still racing. So like my first race that week, we were on a 2-week underway. So I was scheduling everything 2 weeks in advance, making all the final arrangements, buying my plane tickets and everything. Mom was flying from Florida, Jacksonville, Florida, because that's the nearest airport.
Yeah.
So she helped me out a lot that weekend. She flew across the country, took care of the hotel, the rental. I literally pulled in on the ship on Friday. And Saturday morning at 6 a.m., my plane was taken off from San Diego for Idaho. Flew to Idaho. My mom picked me up at about 10:30, 11 a.m. We stopped at a Chick-fil-A, went straight to the track, signed in. I was in the car by 1 o'clock.
So, can you
I
imagine?
know, that's crazy. He didn't sleep a lot.
No, probably not.
He was
you
young
know.
though. He could do it.
And then he suffered this horrendous
Oh,
accident.
don't get too much. Let him listen.
Yeah, so you need to go listen. You need to go listen because his goals never wavered.
No, he got in a like Jamie said, he got in a wreck, and I'm not gonna get into it, but yeah, he never took his eye off the prize.
And here we are going through this storm of your stroke, and of course now hindsight 2020, where we're like, oh, all hope is lost,
Yeah,
kind
right.
of thing, and this guy had to relearn how to walk.
Yeah.
And never lost sight of his goal. He knew he was going to get back in
He's
that
getting
race
back in the
car.
Yeah.
He knew he was going to go back to NASCAR. He just knew it.
Yeah, he never questioned himself.
No, and just what an amazing testimony
Yeah.
to who he is as a person and how he held fast to his
Mhm.
goals. And man, we've had some amazing guests.
Oh, that's
so far.
awesome. I tell you, we've been blessed with the guests.
We really have. And we've talked about our different shift and what we're doing with the Sailor's Voice Live, and amplifying the voice of our sailors,
Right.
of our military members. You don't have to necessarily be in the Navy. We are just Navy.
Yeah.
And everything we know is Navy, but that doesn't set us apart from our brothers and sisters in uniform across the board.
Right.
Right. But that was the Hold Fast series. So then after we record all of that,
Yeah,
you get a call.
I get a call from a good buddy of mine, retired quartermaster chief. He's a emergency manager down in South Texas, and I'm gonna give it all. We're gonna play in a minute, but the Hold Fast played a huge part in his professional life.
And so QMs are notorious for their Hold Fast, right?
They navigate the ship, right?
They're one of them, and the bosun's mates kind of go hand in hand with the whole Hold Fast. But it took him listening to the podcast,
Right.
listening to all of those guests to remember it, kind of bring it back to the forefront of his mind, and
applied it
to
a civilian job.
To his civilian job.
He's retired Navy, so he has a civilian job now in Texas. So he applied it to his civilian job.
Yeah. So we're gonna play his audio, what he told you, and just this is so great. So let's listen.
The term hold fast, even though it's an article term, it can also be applied on the civilian life. I mean, I'm a QMC, retired, 3 years now, and I work for a 911 emergency center. And recently we had the place is always busy. We get so many calls today. It's about 1,000 calls a day. They're all emergency calls. Well, most of them are emergency, most of them are non-emergency. However, we get talk to people when they are the worst, and that's most of the time. either for that or to complain. We also dispatch police officers, and that gets busy. And one of our dispatchers, young, maybe 21 years old kid, was having a hard time on the radio because he was extremely busy, stressful, and he was having a real hard time, and he was just really, really stressed out. And I kept telling him to hold fast. After a while, I had him just take a 15-minute break, and I went out to talk to him. He asked me why I kept telling him to hold fast. Well, I after explained to him the meaning of it, he really liked how that can be applied to us here in this dispatch. I mean, we're dealing with really hard times most of the time during those 8 hours of work that we do. After explaining to him that the meaning of hold fast, they really like the idea. Pretty much meaning like hold the line when we're those adversity times. And I wanted just to tell you guys that, even though it's an article term, I mean, we can easily apply it, in our situations here. I do it here, and the kids that work for me, they really loved it. The meaning and how we can hold the line and stay the course.
How cool is that?
That's awesome.
How cool is that? That this podcast, if it helps one person,
That's it. It's worth it. It's worth it.
if it helps that one guy, it's all worth it. And for our guests that have come on and changed lives, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
And we look for, and for those of you that have listened through all of our audio blunders, I know you hear the audio as we're playing clips
Yeah.
go up and down and up and down, and we're trying so hard to get it level so that it's pleasing to you. But through all of our audio blunders and all of our weird videos, you guys have stuck with us, and we just appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
And we look forward to going nowhere but up from here. And so thank you so much for sticking with us through this whole month. And next month in March, we are going to start a new series. You want to tell it?
You tell it. I don't want to ruin it for you.
No, you tell it. You tell it. Yeah.
So unity, service, and navigation.
Boom.
Booyah.
USN.
USN.
Yeah. So, we don't want to give away too much, but we're going to be circling around those words the entire month of March. And we've got some cool guests lined up again.
Yes.
And we're looking forward to changing another life.
Yeah.
Or maybe 2 or 3.
Or maybe 100.
Hundreds.
Thousands?
Yeah. But, the main purpose of this is to amplify the voice of the sailor.
Yeah,
We want to hear from those around.
Want to hear from you.
Yeah. Those that are listening, those around the fleet, those that feel they have something to contribute that is positive in this negative world, that's going to help somebody, an experience that you can recall and play on, that somebody else might be going through the same thing. And we just want to continue to encourage people.
Yes.
Ultimately.
Yes. And that's why we're here. We're here to hear from you. So if you ever want to hop on this show, let us know.
Yeah.
We would love to have you on.
You can email us at e14podcast@gmail.com. You can direct message us at our Facebook page, which is E14 Podcast.
And don't forget, we've got Twitter.
We're on Twitter.
We got Twitter.
He's in charge of the Twitter.
I'm in charge.
If the tweets are weird, that's why.
I'm the Twitter POC. POIC. Payouts are in charge. Yes, I'm that guy.
This might be a big mistake.
I'm the Twitter LCPO.
Okay. So yeah, Heath is in charge of Twitter. So if there's anything that is not PC or anything that
Look,
a weird
call
cuss
me-
word every now and then,
They call me Mr. PC.
So he's been in almost 25 years now. Crusty
So
senior
I'm
chief.
PC. I've been around.
There are no promises with our Twitter, but that is E14 podcast. Yeah, at E14
Don't forget the
podcast.
at.
There are no promises. Absolutely
I'm great.
no promises. What you might see if you follow us there.
Oh, man.
We've now uploaded to iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio.
We are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts.
Podcasts.
We've got a website now.
Yeah.
E14podcast.com.
We're legit.
If you don't know who we are, you will. Because
Well, honestly, that's your fault if you don't know who we are. All right, we're everywhere.
yeah, so we're working on getting out there because why? You got to be out there to amplify the voice of the sailor.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
that's what we want to do. So follow us on all the social media platforms. If you are local to us, beware. We might bombard you on the Sailor's
You never
Voice
know.
Live.
If you see you in Walmart,
Boom. In
if
your
I
face.
see you at the soccer field with your kids,
Yeah.
boom.
Be ready to
Be
get
ready.
on live.
Yes, because I don't. If I'm in another town and I happen to see a guy wearing a Chief shirt or a Crow shirt or something with a first class Crow,
Yeah.
I'm getting bombarded.
Anywhere we go within the Gulf Coast area,
Anywhere I'm allowed to
I
go
would
with the
say-
COVID restrictions.
I would say you're at risk of getting bombarded
Yeah.
on the Sailor's Voice Live. So, with that being said, we just again appreciate you for following us
Yes.
through our first
Yes.
month, and we look forward to many more.
More.
Yeah. So, we'll leave you with that. And as always, we wish you fair winds.
And following seas.